Sorry guys, I had to stop for a second. I choked on a bug. There's a lot of mosquitoes here, and one decided that biting me on the arm, face, whatever was not enough. My tongue was his target. So, first round, Austria. And Brandon is back with water. You have no idea how good that feels.
Yeah, left for 2 minutes to get water, and I missed the first round. Seemed to be over pretty quick.
Well, yeah, the Swedish army got smashed. That was a blitzkrieg.
Well, the Austrians are always a pretty strong team.
Especially in 10 versus 10, it's always been their specialty, I believe.
Yeah, I think they work well at that size.
Like I said before, I like the 10 versus 10 because they have the impact of big battles and the speed of 5 versus 5 at the same time.
There's still room to move around in there.
Yes, so you don't have that moment where you're stuck in a corner going like, why move? All right, round 2. Will the Swedish get back up and manage to get around? Here we go. Walking toward each other. Face it. Big hole in the middle. Big. Oh, that was a tactical mistake. Now you got a runner in the back. And nobody's watching him. Oh, okay, somebody checked him. Too late. No, he didn't take one guy down.
So we got one
Sweden down.
Two Swedes, but one Austrian down.
3-2.
I'm seeing a lot of Austrians on the stage side of the list.
We have a lot of couples fighting. Falling. Oh, one of the Swedes fell alone. Big hits. It's starting. Big hits there on the far fence. Oh, that guy's down. That helmet will need a few dent removed. Oh, that's on the knee. Oh, he lost his weapon. We got one of the Austrian running with a weapon. And it's just about everybody versus 3.
See, 6 on 3, I think.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah, that's pretty tough.
And no, he didn't fall. But right on the arm of his opponent.
2.
Oh, it's golden face. It's a new golden face.
The fight still continues at 6 on 2.
Oh, that's a nasty shot. And a fight.
Seemed like Sweden lasted a bit longer that round.
They did a lot better, yes. But the key word is sadly not enough.
No, but they had some good takedowns.
And we're getting a bit of a light cover with the clouds right now, which feels actually good.
Yeah, just getting out of the direct sunlight is nice.
Well, you got to realize,
So
people are standing in metal cans with like winter jacket under.
Yeah, you're going to heat up pretty quick in that.
The heat is actually, I think, the worst enemy for fighting in that. You need to control your temperature all the time. And it's super hard because sometimes, whether or not, something happened in the list, you're the next to fight, but something happened in the list and you're stuck 10, 15 minutes for the medics and you're there cooking under the sun.
You're sitting there waiting or... Yeah, there's nothing worse than waiting in the armor, knowing you're supposed to be in and you're not in yet and you just have to wait there.
Ooh, Ukraine and Finland.
So the home team coming back in versus Finland.
We can see we're in Ukraine. They're local favorites. They're the local boys.
Yeah, the crowd here aren't afraid of being partisan. They'll cheer on their guys. But I think they have also been good for cheering on anybody and everybody when it hasn't been up against Ukraine.
Yes.
When they're in the list, they're only cheering for one country.
All right. Well, the sun is back just to welcome Finland.
But Finland love the sun. They
don't get that much of it, eh? No, once in a while. I remember being on a trip with somebody that actually took a picture of the sun.
Well, in Ireland, we don't see the sun very often. I've seen it about three times so far in my lifetime.
Last time we went to fight in Portugal a few years back, Brendan was taking a picture of the sun.
Yeah, it was nice to see it out again. We're easily amused. So we do not have the Black Knight that's been a feature of Finnish teams in the last couple of years. He's outside the list.
Injured, sadly.
I imagine there's no one sadder about it than him.
That guy has arms forever. You throw him and he's still grabbing you. It's insane.
Yeah, I'm not sure what height he is, but he's pretty big, pretty long arms.
Long arms, long legs. I had a chance a few times to grapple with him, and every time it ends up the same. Oh, I can't throw him. Oh, wait, he's still wrapped around me. Bloody octopus. All right, the Ukrainians are walking in, taking their sweet time.
One of them jumping up and down, eager to get started.
Wearing those signature Griffin helmet. They're like the ultimate tank helmet.
Yeah, they can really take a hit in those.
It rests more on your shoulder than on your head, so you don't take the big hits. Transfer the strength, the force to your shoulder.
Yeah,
instead of taking it all to your cranium.
If the impact is coming straight down on top of the head, it's going straight down into your body. It's fine. It's the hits laterally onto the temples that are moving the head. Those might do some damage, but the guys out here are going to be very experienced fighters.
Oh God, there's a big ass falchion. Sorry for the big hat, but it's I knew that's not fun to get on the head by him.
So that's that two-handed weapon right in the center of the Ukrainian line.
The scary weapon that's being swung right now.
And he's a runner. He's gone right down into the backfield.
Bam! Right behind the head. That guy's down.
A selection of Ukrainian runners in the back. Got 3 Finns down. 4 Finns to 2. And he goes 5 to 2 when the Ukrainians have lost a weapon. I'm seeing...
Stop! Referee, stop the fight. They're like 6-1. There's nobody left.
They're being very slow. It's one. No, we do have another Finn standing.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
He's blue and white flag in the back. All confusing us.
We had 5 Ukrainians targeting 1 Finn, and I thought he was the only one left standing. We did have another one hiding in the corner.
It's hard to tell with those big numbers and with this very colorful background.
So getting reset for round 2. It looks like Finland doesn't have any reserves, so they've got no fresh fighters to put in. They've got what they've got. The Ukrainians able to switch in some of their fighters. They've got plenty in reserve on the bench. They've finished chanting away to themselves, get themselves geared up for round 2. So we don't have that big two-handed falchion in the Russian or the Ukrainian Frank this time. I see a big two-handed axe in the Ukrainian hands though. Finnish fighter with a two-handed axe trying to do some damage with it. Looking for gaps in the Ukrainian line. We got a Finnish runner, but he falls himself trying to take someone down. Oh. I'm seeing a lot of blue and yellow on the field, a lot less white and blue. We got two Finnish still standing up, being battered pretty hard, and now the fight is over.
That was a clear win, I guess.
Yes.
And a big round of applause for the local boys. And their big victory there.
They can enjoy themselves in front of the home crowd, putting in a good performance.
Next fight will be Austria versus China. Austria versus China.
Oh, Austria versus China next. And 10 versus 10, China. Let's see how they fare. Versus very experienced Austria in 10 versus 10.
I'm interested to see China back in the list for the group fights. I briefly saw them yesterday, but didn't get to see too much of them. They have come on in leaps and bounds since last year from their first appearance.
I gotta say that China had like the toughest pool yesterday with Ukraine and England and Canada. And Ukraine and England are just, England is improving every year. Ukraine is Ukraine.
Yeah, no prisoners taken on that side, on either of those teams.
Oh.
So I see Austria on the field. I don't see China yet. Oh, I see some of them.
Where is China?
There's a couple of them going behind the marshal stage. Might be one Chinese fighter versus 10.
It's going to be ZA. Oh, there they are passing in front of us.
Oh, there we
A
are.
bit on the late side. Ku Chang. We have the whole group is there. Love those guys. They have their own national reporters with them. Actually feeding off this stream right now. So we are live in China.
That's exciting. So
The captain, Kui Lu.
they're slowly making
And a
their
bit
way
of
towards the
disarray.
field.
I think they were a bit on the late side. If their translator is not with them, sometimes it gets a bit complicated.
Yeah, there's a big language barrier for them.
Yes.
Now, some of them do have excellent English, but it's tough when, at least, I don't understand the Ukrainian here, but there's a lot of people who speak English who can help an ignorant foreigner like me out. Less people speaking Chinese.
Well, they're far away from being the numbers they are required to have. I just hope they can gather fast enough not to be disqualified.
I see two more of them up in the sheds making their way down.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I think they're short right now. ZA there with his big axe.
I think they're going to be putting whoever they have out into the field. There's nothing worse than being running towards the list disorganized.
Oh, yeah,
I've been
it's a
there
bad
before.
feeling.
You need to get inside now.
They need, because they're going to get that warning that if they don't get in time,
You want time
they're only
before
8
your
guys.
fight to
They're
get
not enough
organized.
fighters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys. Damn. That's going to be a long day.
We've got.
I see only 7
I
fighters.
see another Chinese fighter.
There's an 8th fighter
Maybe
there,
right
but
on- I don't think he'll be there in
right
time.
there. There might be just enough.
There's 2 more making their
there's
way
2 more
in, but I don't
coming.
think they will be.
They
I don't
won't
think
be
they'll
able
wait
to
for
fight the
them.
first round.
I can see more Chinese fighters making their way across the bridge.
Trickling down.
I'd say there must have been a communication breakdown. They weren't expecting to be going in quite right now.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'd always feel bad when you're in there and you know that you fucked up. Ah, there goes one more guy. 2 more guys, but they're not finished dressing.
They're sprinting along.
So they're going to be the 10 guys with no reserve. Already that's a tough sell.
think they might just about have their 10 fighters. The marshals are being very forgiving about the timekeeping. Austrian team checking their watches, twiddling their thumbs, relaxing. A lot of axes on the Austrian side. Big two-handed axe. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 two-handed axes. That's a lot in one team. We have 9 Chinese fighters on the field now. There's 2 more getting organized, so might allow them to go up to their full 10. And yeah, China's being allowed to field their 10 men.
Yeah, bravo, China. It's about time, guys.
A round of applause for them. I think you'd have to thank Austria for waiting patiently as well. And they're eager to get stuck in. Austria coming straight for them. Chinese team captain right at the front, sticking out, ready to fight. We got an Austrian runner down the back. He's been... Oh, and he's taken 1 down. He's taken 2 down and he goes down himself. So it's 2-1 Austria. Everyone else still up on the feet. A lot of 1-on-1 fights across the field. We got another Chinese fighter down. Another one from each side. Count, I think 7 Austrians versus 3 Chinese, 4 Chinese maybe. 3 Chinese. Oh, I see. Now I see why those Austrians have so many axes. They're just pounding in now. The fighters with the falchions and punch shields tying up the Chinese fighters, leaving the axemen to do the damage. And the fight is over. Just as the Austrian is winding up for another axe blow. Big round of applause for both sides. So I think that was...
So first round was Austria.
Definitely win for Austria. I think it was maybe 5 Austrians still standing, could have been more. Very hard to keep track of all the bodies on the fields. And the surcoats here aren't too dissimilar in the heat of the moment. It'll be hard to work out who's who.
Chinese resetting.
And a little bit of
they only
coaching
have
on the
one
field.
switch, so it's a long day.
And I
Checking
think-
everybody's armor.
I think their reserve hasn't been changed. He's still sitting out. I think after running to the field, I think they're all eager to get a good fight in. I'm seeing more punch shields and falchions on the Austrian lineup this time. A couple of them using shorter axes. They're still two-handed, but not as big as the kind of more
there's
polearm
still
style ones.
2 big scary axes there at the end and
There
one more
are,
here.
yeah. still.
See, in a 10, I'm not sure of the efficiency of pole arms if you're not really good at it, or if you're on a little squat of it.
No, unless you know what you're doing with a pole arm, you shouldn't be having it.
I know personally I suck with a pole arm in board.
I think those nice 4-foot axes can be a good compromise.
Yes.
You can get a lot of power into a swing with them.
And you don't get cut everywhere.
Exactly.
Some guys are extremely good with pole arm, don't get me wrong. But it needs also a lot of coordination with the rest of your teammate, because you're always going to be a bit weaker in the wrestling at the beginning with the pole arm because of the length of the shaft.
Yeah, if you're wrestling with a pole arm, you're doing it wrong. Your job should be to stand back until someone else is exposed, and then you beat them to the ground. We've got 9 on the field for China. One fighter had to step out, and they didn't put in their reserve for whatever reason. I'm not sure why. I think it might have been realizing the armor failure was there just at the last minute.
And the Austrian
Runner
goes
in on
inside.
Austria, no
Go
one's
behind.
checked
They
it.
did check their environment.
Oh, and he knocks
One
one
out.
down.
The
Knocks
domino
forward
effect
another one.
might be starting.
We got
It's 8 versus 10, as none of the Austrians are out.
That's 3 from Team China down.
Oh, China
Austrians
defending a lot better than
jogging
first.
around the field. There's a nice takedown from one of the Austrians, but he took 2 of the Chinese team down with 1 grapple. And there we go. Another
So
win for
Austria won
Austria.
this one, but not as efficiently as the first round. Oh, we got an injured Chinese fighter, so it seemed.
Hopefully nothing too serious.
I think it's Kui again, the captain. He got injured yesterday in the 5 versus 5. Still did a pro fight. Of course. Oh, he fell down.
Okay, yeah, he's surrounded by the medics. They'll look after him. Hopefully nothing too bad. Hopefully he'll be back up and ready to fight again.
Oh, the helmet moved on his head when he got punched, and he got a bit choked by the strap, it seems.
He's being taken off the field.
I gotta say, Kui yesterday got injured, barely left walking, in pain and everything. He did a pro fight, and he's still doing the 10 versus 10 today.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be down for long. I think he's going to be back
Yes.
up probably for the next fight. I wouldn't be too surprised.
Yes, if he's any logical, that's the end of a tournament for him.
Yeah, logic often doesn't come into it.
Yes.
And Australia
Too often
there
we don't put
walking
logic
off
in
the
there.
field. I think you can guess which team is coming back into the list now from the cheers. This should be a good fight. We have Ukraine coming in on my left. I'm making their way in on my right. Poland. But this should be a serious fight, I think. Poland are previous hosts of the IMCF World Championships in Malbork Castle back in 2015, I think. Two very experienced teams. and Poland being pretty close to Ukraine, relatively speaking, should be able to put out, pick the best of their best fighters, whereas when they're traveling further afield, you get more restrictions in terms of who can come the distance, who can afford it, because it's not cheap to travel around the world with all this armor and take a week out from work to go to a different part of the world. But we should have the best Polish team we can get here.
Oh, that's going to be a good one. Poland, who's in full strength this year, versus Ukraine. Well, clearly in full strength since they're home.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that's going to be a violent one. The rivalry between those two teams is special.
You'll really see looking at both these teams, who are two of the top teams in the game.
Yeah.
None of them are that big. That's a lot of people assume, I'll just get the biggest guy I can and he'll beat people into the ground.
That's until you face the Polish or the Ukrainian,
Yeah.
you realize they're 85 to 95 kilo average.
Yeah, at most. You occasionally get some really big guys and they can be useful, but
They're useful in certain categories. You'll see them more in like the 16 versus 16.
it's
honestly.
all about knowing how to move people around and being fit, knowing what you're doing on the field and doing it well, rather than just being a big guy and throwing people around.
Yep.
I've always described the Polish team as they fight like a pack of wolves or a pack of dogs. If they can, they like to nip in and retreat, draw people out. Depends on who they're up against. I don't think
The guy with the long axe there, that long axe is fearsome. You don't want to be hit by that. It's a small head, like the smallest one you can find. And it's a long stick. It will get into the holes of your armor, go like, that hurts. And they go. 4 on the left side,
And
blocking right there. Really
pushing
spacing
in
hard.
fast. Ukraine is trying to get a runner into the backfield, and they have.
One at the back, good work, and he
He's trying
couldn't
for a
take him down.
takedown, but they're all still standing. A lot of action on our side, less on the stage side of the list.
Polish fighting hard. Oh, one of the. Nobody's down yet.
No, and serious blows coming in. Big swings from that axe.
There's action everywhere.
Ukraine doing well to tie up that big axe.
2 guy down.
You don't want him grappling. Poland trying to expose the Polish or Ukrainian
2
gaps
guys
there in his
on
armor.
on
We got
one here.
Still totally even. We're seeing big shield punches coming in from Ukraine. Axe being swung in by Poland.
On the right side here, one of the Ukrainian holding and being hit by the other guy, but he's immobilizing 2 Polish. He's getting up now.
I think I
Big
see
hit.
4
Oh,
Poles down. 5 Poles.
he's getting
I think.
jumped. Didn't fall. Oh my God, that's. but
4
the-
Poles still standing against 6 Ukrainians. I
Oh,
think.
friendly
7
fire
maybe,
here.
6. That's how you use an axe.
Oh, right in the face.
You see that
Oh,
work?
actually, the axe of the guy on your right, that's really dark. That's a real Cossack axe with the markings of the original guy. You just found it in the yard and put it on a shaft,
Wow.
which actually freaked out the historian earlier this week.
He's got the real deal.
Yeah, he took it to the face of a
That's-
Polish guy too.
I think 5 Ukrainians still left standing when the fight ended.
That was a hard fight. It looks like only 5 left on a 10 versus 10 means you had a hard fight. That was a beautiful fight.
Yeah, you can.
The
Yeah.
domino effect, it's only halfway through, which is actually impressive.
Yeah, exactly. It gets so much harder once you're outnumbered by 1 and then by 2, and it gets tougher and tougher for you to close that gap. So you can kind of end up getting a collapse where 5 Ukrainians left standing doesn't really do justice to how close to a match it was for most of that fight.
Exactly. That's we were discussing earlier. I was discussing by myself. We shouldn't say we were. The domino effect in this game is really special because it's that once one guy fall, then you starting having domino effect. You're literally pushing the dominoes and they fall one by one. So if you have 5 guys left, that means we went through half the other team before falling into the domino effect, which is huge, especially against Ukraine, who doesn't
said,
fall easy.
These two tough teams, and both of them have reserves to switch out. I think they'll take advantage of everything they have.
I think that's impressive is the speed of those 2 teams. I gave the speed advantage to Poland. They're always quite aggressive and fast,
A lot of energy.
but the strength goes to Ukraine.
Yeah, I think they're they really know how to get the most out of their swings, and they seem to have the edge in the grappling game from what I saw. Hard to tell when there's so much going on. See, we got another one of those two-handed falchions on the field in the Polish
he has a
center.
curve like a banana. That's going to go bang.
And he's bopping up and down to the music, eager to get going.
I like his helmet. I really like his helmet. Far away from my face, please.
Yeah. There's no punching that back into your nose.
Mind you, I'm not sure I would like an axe to the side of that.
No.
Apparently that's his song.
Yeah, Banana Man is dancing away.
So here he is now. He's Banana Man. And that's
Marshall Martin Casey
quite a
getting out of
show
the
that
danger
fight,
zone.
guys. Wow. There you go for a runner. Try to pass through, being stuck by the big axe.
He's drawing in that pole arm guy.
Going around, going to Wooderback. He's blocked. Didn't fall. Oh, but he fell by himself. Oh, that sucks.
So it's
Oh, his domino effect starts.
3-1 for Ukraine. Got fights on either side of the list. And a little bit in the center too, out in the field.
Friendly fire here.
Yeah. Be hard to.
Oh,
hit your
on the
target
fingers. That
sometimes.
hurts.
I see 6 poles still standing. First, I think 9 Ukrainians
8 Ukrainians.
to 5.
Oh, that's pretty much it of that, my guess is. Only
Gosh.
3 Polish here, 4
4
Polish.
Polish still standing.
Hit to the head.
I think it might be
Oh, big hits.
6
where-
Ukrainians.
That's where the hurt train comes in town. You're stuck in a fence.
The pain
You're outnumbered. The big axe are coming.
Now
not
you see the
impossible.
domino.
It's
The
not an
domino
impossible gamble, but it's a really odd one. In this case, it's second round, so they need to win that round if they want to carry on. So that's why
Yes.
they're still fighting.
2 on 6. Yeah, this is just a waiting game.
And it's out. It's game over.
That's
6-1. It's still very late in the game.
It's just fighting to get to that tipping point. So once you get to that tipping point, when you have enough of a superiority in numbers, that's it. Was that a Polish fighter fall there after the fight was over? I think it was just a trip. It's a bit embarrassing from falling after the fight was over, but better than falling during the fight. So another good win for Ukraine. So we've got Sweden making their way back to the list. I think the Swedish flag bearer has to win the award for best dressed. Haven't seen her do any fancy flag work yet, so we're not sure if she wins the flag competition, but definitely best dressed. So Sweden and China, Sweden filtering into the list, getting their helmets checked by the marshals. And China on their way, a bit more organized this time, hopefully a bit more relaxed. Both teams lost their last fight, so they want to win this one. They've got something to prove. No, they're both teams are coming from the same side of the list, so we got a bit of a backlog. I count 9 Chinese fighters, so we must have we have the captain down, and I think we must have another one. I think it was an armor failure rather than an injury, and he doesn't seem to have been able to get himself organised for the next round yet. But we might see him come back up to the full 10. And it's worth reiterating that this is only China's second appearance at the IMCF World Championships, and they're really growing the sport in China. It's getting bigger and bigger each year. I think next year they'll definitely have a team for the 16s, and their skill is going up as well. I wouldn't be surprised if in a few years these guys could be world beaters. Oh, we have our 10th Chinese fighter making his way towards the list, so they will have a full team of 10. At the moment, Sweden are spread out across the field. We've got 3 up on one rail, 3 over towards the other side, and 3 in the center. And we've 1 more waiting to go in. Oh no, sorry, we do have we do only have 9 Swedes on the field at the moment, as I can see. Oh yeah, and the 10th is coming in now. Like I say, there's a bit of a traffic jam with all the fighters coming in on one side of the list. And Chinese fighter number 10 making his way down to his end of the field. The Swedes starting a bit of chanting, getting the crowd riled up. I think Team Sweden are always a team that enjoys their fighting. Everyone does, but they've got some sort of joie de vivre about it. So we still seem to have 3 blocks on the Swedish side. Certainly 1 on each rail, and then the center is a bit dispersed. Team China laid out in a line. Bit of a discussion going on between Marshal Martin Casey and Team China. Not sure about exactly what, but seems to have come to an agreement. Chinese team getting into their positions. Sweden ready and eager to get started. And Martin gives them the wave and they're ready to go. Sweden advancing towards the center. A little bit of a dance from one of the Swedish fighters trying to find a gap into the middle. He gets in behind the Chinese line. And he takes the Chinese fighter down, but he goes down himself. So it's all even. Got another 2 Chinese fighters down to 1 Swede, so the Swedes have a slight advantage now. Swedish runner making his way across the field, bringing that big axe. Got up against the Marshall stage, we got a big axe duel. Oh, a bit of a foolish takedown from Sweden there. He could have easily knocked the Chinese fighter off his feet, pulled him backwards onto the ground. He jumped up on his back, and the only way it could go was they both go down. I think it's 4-on-2 for Sweden though. A Swedish fighter up off his feet who is already out. I think he might have an injury or an armor issue. He's getting his helmet off. 3 Swedes left standing. The fight is over. And I see the Swedish fighter had to get his helmet off. Might have shifted around, be cutting into his throat. The win for Sweden. 3-0. I think that issue on the field of the Swedish fighter leaving with his helmet on, getting his helmet off and leaving was actually his reserve fighter is sharing his helmet. So he had to get it off so he could do a quick swap.
Next fight, Finland versus Poland. Next fight, Finland versus Poland.
So Finland versus Poland are going to be our next fight. But before that, we've got round 2 of China versus Sweden. And the reserve fighter for Sweden has got his borrowed helmet. He's gotten a buckler and an axe from the fighter that was out on the field too. So he's armed and armoured, getting checked by the marshals, ready to go in. Team China looking relaxed and organised after the frantic entrance into the last fight. A couple of them leaning up against the rails. There's some standing out, ready to move. They seem to be grouped together into pairs or small blocks rather than just a clear line this time. Sweden coming in with a staggered formation. On the side closest to me, they've got a block forward, the side closest to the stage. They're hanging back a little bit. We've got one fighter, one around the centre, looking for an option. We've got a Chinese runner. Swedish fighter coming in to try and check him, but a bit slow there. He's slow to react. And that Swedish fighter is down. China have the advantage right at the moment. A couple of big axe fights going on. Chinese fighter knocked to the ground. Good charge from Sweden. I see another Chinese fighter down, so advantage Sweden. The marshals coming in when the Chinese fighter says arm around a weapon around the neck. He's being stood down. Or a legal move. I don't think it was intentionally on the neck, but you need to be aware at all times where your weapon is. Big advantage to Sweden now. I see 6 Swedes against 3 Chinese. One making a run across the field, seeing if he can do something. Martin Casey jumping out of the way. And another suicide from the Swedish fighter. So it's, I think, 5 Swedes to 1 Chinese left standing. It's a win for Sweden. And the big downside to fighting in the sand is when you get knocked into it in the group fights, and you're going to get knocked down, that sand gets everywhere. To dig it out of all the crevices, shake it out of your gauntlet, try and get it out of your visor if you landed face first. Or else you're going to be spitting out sand during your next round. Finland ready and waiting, marching into the list under their Blue Cross flag. And Poland queuing up behind them. Team Poland, not only do they have their fighters and their support crew, they also have seem to have a cheerleading crowd coming in behind. Some very well-dressed ladies carrying a Polska banner, and some more fans coming up from the rear. Fighters filtering into the field.
Контроль суддівської колегії, яка відслідковує належну підготовку амуніції і зброї.
І наступна команда збірна Польщі. Вітаємо наших сусідів. Будь ласка, шановні друзі.
So we got all 10 Finnish fighters on the field. Now, Team Poland making their way in. Their banner bearer doing a lap of the field, trying to get the crowd riled up. We got hugs from Poland and Finland, bit of camaraderie in the centre of the field. Last few Polish fighters being checked before they get out onto the field for their fight. The Polish cheering section just making their way past me now to get down to their end of the field. All the Polish fighters have been checked. Some of them, of course, are just running through the field. They're going to be straight out the gate, resting up for being brought in round 2 if they're needed. I've seen a lot of big two-handed axes on both sides of the field. Let's see who can do more damage with them. Both sides approaching more or less in line formations. The Polish pushing a little deeper into Finnish territory. Polish fighter trying to get his polearm working for him. Not quite getting the power he needs. Being tied up by Finland. The Polish fighter is jumping forward to try and grab 2 Finns if he can. Good takedown from Finland. Finland have the advantage on the field at the moment. Finnish fighter got the last takedown, trying to get the same movement. Not quite working for him this time. Seeing, I think it's all even right now. By my count, it's 8 on each side, I think. Good performance from Finland, bit of a surprise. I see another pole down. Finland putting up a serious assault. Another pole down. Oh, one, I think he was allowed back up. I'm not sure what was going on, but the marshals allowed him back up onto his feet. I still have an advantage for Finland. Counting it. 6-3, I think. 6-4. Yep. I guess 5-4 to Finland. It's a serious performance from Team Finland. It's like they brought out a different team. There's a serious
What did I
brawl
miss?
going on
Finland
here.
is actually doing good against Poland.
They're doing extremely well. Poland had been chasing to catch up. It was
Wow.
Finland got the first takedown, and then Poland got one, and Finland got another one, and they've been neck and neck,
And Poland trying to pull here. Didn't work.
slowing down to a series of one-on-one fights,
My God.
and they're
it's
taking
one-on-one.
each other down. So it's now
that
3
looks
against
like a future
3.
draw.
Now what we need is one of these fighters really needs to push and push and push and get a win with them still up on their feet. And then we could have a big advantage if we could get 3-on-2. Oh no, it's 2-on-2. This is going to be tough. I think we could be looking at a draw. Can either team pull something out of the bag? They need to find something. Poland trying to go for a throw, but Finland wriggling out of it. Poland trying to push Finnish fighter up over some of the bodies on the ground, get a shield in his face. Not much happening right in the corner. They're trying to find gaps, trying to work around each other, get some balance. The marshals looking to make sure nobody's gripping the rail, which is an illegal move. You're allowed to get your arm up on the rail. You can get your elbow over the rail, but you cannot hook the rail. Oh, and nearly, I think, both fighters down. I think we got 1-on-1. 1-on-1. And the fighters are going to be getting quite tired out there now. No, still 1-on-1, still not much happening in that corner, but they're going to be getting tired. Might not look like much from our side, but they're giving it everything they've got. Injured Finnish fighter Serlapis, as he's known, shouting advice from the outside the rails. The Polish fighter trying to hook his leg around, get a throw. Finland using his weight, leaning against them. They're trying to exhaust each other. Finland trying to go up and over, get a different bit of leverage. Pushing Poland up against the rails isn't going to do him much good. He's not going to push him through the rails. He's trying to get some bit of leverage. Looks like he's got a bit of an advantage. They're both down, and it's a draw. A draw between Finland and Poland. As close as that was, and it was an amazingly close round, all right the way through. The advantage now has to go to Poland because they've got a lot of fresh fighters to put out on the field. Finland do not. All the Finnish fighters out there need to stand up and go again. But they've got to be psyched about that performance. So if Poland were leaving any talent on the bench through that last round, they're coming out now. So I see one of the Finnish fighters leaning up against the rail, trying to catch his breath. You've got to have the most pity for that Finnish fighter who was last up on his feet. You get the longest fight, the shortest break. At least the guys who got thrown earlier had time to catch their breath. But he looks fresh enough. His teammate is still leaning up against the rails. Maybe he's not as tired as he looks from this angle. Maybe he's just resting the weight. Maybe he is exhausted, but he's got to go again very shortly against a Polish team with a lot of fresh fighters. I think that Finnish fighter might have gone to sleep. He's staying immobile, leaning up against that rail. Might be having a quick nap in the nice sunshine. There's a discussion going on with the marshals. Not sure about exactly what. There might have been some rules issue on the field that we're not aware of. Some clarification going on. I think especially Team Finland will be very glad of this reprieve, this chance to catch their breath. And the sun's gone behind the cloud, making it a little bit cooler. When the sun goes in behind the cloud, you can start to feel that cool breeze that is here, but in the full sunshine, it seems to disappear. You certainly don't feel it as much as you'd like. So I think it's the Polish captain, or certainly a Polish representative, is going over to discussion with the marshals. Finnish representative going over now to see what the story is. There's so many things going on here that it can be hard to keep track of everything. We don't see what's happening. There can be rules, infractions, all sorts of things that need to be covered, and you don't want doubt about how rules should be interpreted or what each team should be doing on the field. I got the pause there while the paparazzi were taking photos of me up in my little watchtower here. And one of the benefits of doing the commentary at these events is you do always get a good seat, and the best seat in the house. So it looks like we're just about ready to go. Still not sure what the issue was, but we're ready for round 2. And you got to remember, this fight is definitely going to 3 rounds, at least. It's going to be a long day out in the sun. Let's see if Finland can replicate that very impressive performance. Especially, as I said, they're working with no reserves. Here we go, round 2. Finland striking with those big axes. On my side of the list, a lot of conflict happening over by the marshals list. Finnish fighter going for a throw but not quite getting it. You've got, I think, 2 Finns down and 1 Pole. Polish fighter running back down for a weapon. We got 3 Finns down. Poland definitely taking no chances this time. We've got a Polish runner looking for an opening, spotted by a Finnish fighter who goes to try and trip him, but Poland sees it coming. He manages to get a takedown. Now I think 2 Poles down, a lot more Finns, but we still got 3 Finns standing, 4 Finns standing, 7 Poles. And just in front of me, 1 Polish fighter pinning a Finn, the other one with his axe trying to find an opening. The Finnish leaning his head into the pole strikes.
All right, I'm finally back.
You're missing some serious action here.
I know.
And we just
But
saw
then
there.
again, technical life is technical life. All right, some wrestling. 2-on-1 here and 1-on-1 over there. And the Finn is down, but not without taking a pole with him,
And
so
the
it's 2-on-1
Polish
over
fighter
there.
actually has a loose piece of armor on his elbow that hasn't been spotted. Hopefully it's nothing too major.
So now it's 2-on-1. There. Oh, there's still a 1-on-1 going on here. God.
It's still narrowed up enough.
They nailed the fighter. I don't know why. He didn't argue, so I think he's quite happy to go down.
Yeah. So that's 3-1.
The Finnish are every year are getting better and better. It's insane.
That was an impressive performance. Both those rounds impressive. So I got a draw in round 1. Lost round 2, but not by that much. And I was going to say, while we had Finnish fighter in front of us taking big shots to the head, he was leaning his head into the shots. It might seem like a bit of a foolish idea. You might think you want to be avoiding them, but the best place to take those big hits is right down on the crown of the helmet.
That's where it's the strongest, because the helmet is a suspension system. The metal is not really touching the top of your head.
Yeah.
But it's quite close to your forehead or the side of your head. So you want it on the crown, not on the forehead.
You don't want it coming in towards your forehead or hitting up against your temples. You don't want your head being moved to the side. That's gonna do you damage and discomfort you.
Actually, the two places, the top is really solid, and usually your face is really solid. Dead center on your face.
Yeah, if you're anyway smart, you've got a lot of protection in your face. That Finnish fighter, though, he's walking off the field. He seems to be done.
It happens. That was a long fight.
I think he might have been confused.
Oh my God! It's been. Is there another round?
He didn't know he had another round, I think.
Well, poor guy. He's like, I'm not. My day's over, and get back in.
Yep. He's being dragged back to the field by one of their female support crew right there. And as I said, Finland have no reserves.
Yeah, that's the amazing thing. They hold up to the Polish team, as you saw, against Ukraine. They're a very strong team. They hold up against one of the very strong team with no reserves.
And as I said after the first round, you saw all the Polish reserves switching in and out. You can guarantee they were putting on the best team they had were coming out for round 2 against Finland, and still pretty close.
I had the chance between the first year that I saw them in action, we saw them in action in Denmark, and last year they were two completely different team. Now, I mean, you're dealing with one of the top 3 team in the world.
Yeah, they are
And
coming on in leaps and bounds.
Oh, we have an injured on the Finnish side.
I'm not surprised. I think he was suffering earlier. He was leaning against the rails earlier too.
With no switch, being injured is no fun for the rest of the team either. Everybody must be quite
I think
worried.
it might just be an armor issue. It looks like they're trying to adjust something. I can tell you this, Poland definitely know they're here for a fight with this opposition from Finland. And our napping fighter is back up and ready to go in. And I think his power naps are doing him good, because he put in a great performance in both the last rounds. So round 3, Poland versus Finland. Finland looking a little bit slower. They are going to be getting tired out there. At most of the Polish team, this is their second round of fighting. Most of them will probably be switched out at this stage.
Oh, one of the Polish is down.
Yeah. Finland with the advantage now. No, I think I see another. I see 2 Poles down. Now see if Finland can make something from this. It's a good opening for them. Those 2 axes, they need to get to work now while they have an opening. Big grapple in the center of the field. They're tussling, trying to get opening, and both of them go down. That's the danger of grappling in the center of the field.
But you also have the danger of grappling on the side of the field that we see here, is that you're getting beat up by the 3 guys with big axe.
Those big axes, that's not how I be using them. You can get a lot of power with those axes.
Oh, one of the
each
finishes
hit
down now.
really count instead of little taps.
Like this.
Oh, another pole down. But still, I still think Poland have the advantage. Or sorry, Finland have the advantage. I think.
The advantage, but not much. But not by much now.
Oh, Finnish fighter trying to go for a throw, but manages to get Finnish fighter or Polish fighter
Oh,
down
now
with
it's pretty
them.
even, my
Comes
guess
down.
is. 3 versus 3 from what I see, or 3 versus 2? 3 versus 3, exactly.
No, I think it might be.
They're right
Oh,
next
yes,
to the
yeah,
crowd.
3
We're
versus
just going
3,
nuts.
yeah.
2-on-1 here.
That
Getting
Finnish
help from
fighter
his friend
needs
with a
to do
big
something.
axe. Misses it. Up, stop fight. The guy is out. It's now 3 versus 2 for Poland. I gotta say, Poland almost dropped the ball on that one.
I think those Finnish fighters, like we say, there's no point in having
Oh,
a pole
that
arm
was
if you
hurt
can't
right
use
on
it.
the hand.
They haven't been making the best use out of those big axes. While they were free, they should have been punishing Poland.
In the leg repeatedly.
That's how
Trying
you
to
use
kick.
it. He's feeling each one of those shots. He's still standing. I see hooking on the rail.
Hooking there on the rail.
Telling him
Really
stop
hooking on the rail. That guy should be brought down. That Polish
He's being put down.
should have been put down after that long of a warning, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, you make him kneel.
Polish fighter was hooking while he was taking the Finnish fighter down. The Polish fighter is being stood down. You get it. 3-second warning for hooking the rail. He was hooking 5, 6,
warned
7
3
seconds.
times. Oh, and they raised the guy that he was fighting against, or they're just putting him down? Yeah, they raised the guys that he actually crushed while hooking.
That was the right decision by the marshals.
I fully agree, and it was applied fast and efficiently. I love what I saw here. They did the job well. Oh, now all thought it's 2 versus 2 still.
The Finnish fighter tried to sneak into a better position before the marshals shouted go for him. Oh, and he's down.
Now it's 2 versus 1 with a big axe.
And there's a
Oh,
teamwork.
that's gonna hurt.
The Polish fighter grabbing the Finnish fighter's arm, trying to pin him down. So he's got no defense against that axe.
Now to finish. Managed to get one
and
of
he
both
does
out.
it.
It's 1 versus 1.
His power naps have really worked for him up against the rail between both rounds.
Oh, God.
2-on-1.
They had the advantage, and he dropped the ball on that one.
You can see.
Oh, it's even. I think they're both on the ground now. Yes, they're both on the ground. It's another draw.
And Poland, that Polish axeman who got taken out, he's disgusted with himself. He flung himself to the ground.
I kind of agree. I would be throwing myself to the
He's-
ground as well in this position. Poor guy.
He's sickened. He knows that they had that chance.
The guy hooking, to me, is the guy that actually screwed him more than anything else.
Yeah.
Because what happened is that if you're getting down for being punished, that point is against you. That guy that got pushed down to the floor is against you. You should have been 3 versus 1 there. It should have been the end of that if you didn't use an illegal move.
Yeah, if you can't stay up on the rails without hooking, you got to do something different. There was no need for a silly mistake like that to get himself put down.
But now, it's a war. It's a marathon. It's no more a fight. It's a marathon.
Round 4.
And round 4, when you have no switch in 10 versus 10 against such a strong team, I don't want to be. I wouldn't want to be in their shoe. Look, half of them are leaning on their weapon. They're dead tired.
I think half of them probably have limbs hanging off from some of those heavy hits.
Those are going to be nice brews to show when they leave
They-
Ukraine next week.
They are doing Finland proud. And I think out on the rails,
I am extremely curious.
the Black Knight, I think, is cursing himself for not being in there able to help out.
Yeah, because he's quite a pillar in their team as well. But even without him, they're machines.
Any fighter who isn't allowed to fight when his teams are going through wars like this is going to be cursing themselves. So we've got one Finnish fighter out injured. He's up and moving around.
Yeah, but you don't take any chance.
No, his fight is over. I think that was that one who got the draw. I'm not sure.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They got 2 guys out. Am I right? Yes, there are only 8 guys on the field at this point.
They're running out.
Oh no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, exactly. Yeah, I know how to count. I got 8.
No, we got 9. We do have 9. There's one over there.
Aye.
They're hiding.
Guys,
They're
stop leaning on
camouflaged.
those flags. I can't see you. Man, those fights are they're long, painful. I wouldn't want to be on that team right now, Finland.
No, but I mean, they can be so proud of this performance.
The thing is that it's not the only fight. It's not their only fight today.
No, it's not. No, this war is burning them out. Like you see, they've lost one fighter to injury. He's still up and moving, so hopefully he's able to go back in later. But they're all getting exhausted, all picking up injuries from bruises and pulled muscles, strains.
Spasm, everything you can imagine will happen.
What? If this is, I think you could never get them to concede this fight. There's pride on the line here.
Oh, big time.
They're determined.
At this point, that far in the game, you win, you lose, you don't care. Did they just concede the fight or something? Or they just warned that they're 9?
Yeah, they're just letting them know they're 9 fighters.
Captain discussing the fine point of the law. Decide to remove one of their guy. Absolutely honorable move. Although he's not down, he's just leaning, just in case things goes really wrong. Then you throw your 10th guy in.
So in most situations, when the numbers are uneven, the larger team will step fighters out. They do not have to at all. They are fully allowed to use the numbers advantage to their.
And people saying it's an honor thing. Personally, if I go down one guy, I don't mind the other guy using his full team. He's allowed. And I would actually be honored if they put the 10th man on me saying, yeah, I scare you that much?
Give us everything you got.
Yeah.
So there's one Polish fighter sitting at the back.
He's sitting at the back. If thing goes wrong, yeah, there he is. Oh, that was dirty, mind you. That was dirty. They trusted you were out. That was not exactly nice. And he's out too.
I'm not sure why he was put down. I think the marshal decided his shield touched the ground.
Happy at them.
I think his shield might have touched the ground and the marshal took that as...
That's possible. Even a shield touching the ground counts. Simple as that.
So, we get back to what...
Big hits on the arm there.
More Polish fighters still standing. I see 2 Finns.
In the ass.
Oh, and one taking big axe shots. He's going down. It's down. The fight is over.
So this fight went to Poland. Not surprising in the 4th round when you have no switch.
A seriously impressive performance from Finland. But outnumbered like that, there's only one way it could go when it comes to a war of attrition.
Yep. I'm happy to have somebody. This weekend will be like 4 guys. The week's always the same. We have a small break now.
The final for duels starting at 3 o'clock.
So they're gonna set up the duels.
Women alongside competition.
And the women are Denmark, Finland, Ireland, Moldova, Sweden, and Bulgaria, Hungary. Oh, we're gonna have really good fights there.
Yeah, there's some serious talent there.
Estonia, Spain, New Zealand, Austria, Denmark, Netherlands, and Luxembourg.